All right. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the EDX Spring Split Finals of the evening. We've got 5 rounds of intense action, so fasten your seatbelts, get some snacks, and have a nice evening. I'm your caster, GNR Slash. Along with me is the old but not dead Zedias.
Yeah, old but not dead. Still kicking. But anyway, hello everyone.
Yeah, so we are in the finals. It's Slash along Frost with me Academy versus INF right now. First place will be receiving a good amount of 5k RP, while the second place will be receiving around 3k RP. And again, it is a best of 5, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth action. Coming right at the bans for the blue team, it's going to be Elise, Zach, and Lysandra. So Sadias, you're the analyst.
I
Talk
expect
to me about these bans.
absolutely no meta bans in this game. I expect every single ban of every single game to be target bans because these two are quite literally the best teams going into this whole tournament. We could not have asked for a better final amongst any final held in the past before. So yeah, Elise, Zach, and Lysandra are all like. Well, of course, Elise and Zach were like pretty much RipCall's only junglers. I mean, it's his go-to and it has been his best junglers going in this tournament and the previous ones. So that's there. And Lysandra is obviously Cluster's best pick, which she has displayed multiple. She's performed like really well multiple times over and over with. So that's really pretty much good respect bans coming in from FA onto INF. But if you see on the side of INF, the Gangplank, obviously we did see Birdie show off multiple times on how good he is at that champion, as same goes for Fiora. Given how unstoppable he has been in these two picks, it makes perfect sense to ban those two picks on FA. Since it's the best of 5, you could also see them shifting their bans across multiple people. They are banning Birdie right now, but they will also look to ban Arnosera or Hooliganers or Synth on a particular pick in the coming games, but we'll see that when we get to that point. And Kog'Maw, obviously the strongest AD right now. There is just absolutely no dispute of like banning him at any point for either side even.
Indeed it is, and I was actually surprised that the Nautilus actually got through in this draft because, as we know earlier, INF Ripcord, he loves playing that Nautilus in the jungle. He played it against you guys, so you should probably know how good of a champ he is on that particular champ buy. And also, Salvador plays, or no, not Salvador, Synth. Yeah, Synth also plays a lot of that Nautilus over in the bot lane, and he brings a lot of kill pressure and, just a lot over to the bot lane Nautilus. So I'm really surprised that this ban got through in this draft right here, but it does go to FA, so that is a huge spike in power for them, I guess.
I'm expecting to see two particular things happening in these set of games. One will be like a lot of flex picks in the form of Nautilus and like the Gangplank for INF in INF's case, where either Sam or Cluster ends up playing it. And same goes for Lysandra, I guess, in that fair extent. So we'll see flex picks. We will also see in the mid lane a huge, pretty much an assassin fest. So I expect the mid lane to be very interesting in this particular best of 5 because both of these players play the same kind of champs and to a very large extent the same style as well. So we'll see assassin picks like Zed or LeBlanc being carried across too many times.
And once you see these mechanical picks, like these assassins, they're very highly mechanical based. So any mistake in their mechanics, any wrong flash or any skill shot not being connected can like completely spiral a game. Like, I think you know about the assassin champions more than me, to be honest. I mean, one champion gets the advantage and the whole game could just spiral and snowball towards the assassin that gets the first blood or so. So yeah, it'll be interesting to look at this mid lane pick.
Yeah, and we can expect both of them to play it to the level that we fear even and it will also make for pretty much a big treat to watch because hey, who wants to see control mages clear waves all day at mid lane, right? That will very much lead to attention being diverted elsewhere on the map all the time. So
especially the Orianna.
Yeah, fine. Anyway. I also like the fact that they took away the Corki early on because Sam did pretty much demolish and did pretty much show a very dominating performance on Corki recently against in the quarterfinals against Derailed, I believe. So that's it's pretty much good that FA are trying to take it away from him. I expect basically picks like the Corki, picks like say Zed and all those stuff, all those kind of things. We'll see a lot of flexing, and the drafts will be really interesting going into this entire best of five series. So I really like. I'm very curious to see how they'll adapt it in forthcoming games, either for both teams. But I'm really liking what's the comp that they're making so far. FA with
Yeah, indeed. And
hmm.
yeah, you were saying something?
Yeah, no, generally I was just gonna go through the drafts by myself, but anyway. Well, it looks to be a top Nautilus or a top Poppy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure where the Nautilus and the Poppy are gonna go. I mean, I don't think Synth plays Poppy support, if memory serves me correctly. So we may see the Poppy going top for Birdie and the Nautilus going on the support, and Udi in the jungle and a Zed in the mid lane along with a Corki AD carry. So we see a lot of lockdown. We see a lot of catch in this thing. So FA are pretty much going for going for a particular kind of comp where they can show a ton of early aggression and snowball from it. And if it ever backfires, they have a lot of tools to pretty much help them buy in the form of like the Nautilus hook or the Udyr stuns and everything. But on the other side, if we see INF's team comp, we see a huge bit of wombo combo. I'm not sure about the Nidalee pick. It's the only one that seems fairly out of place here compared to something like, say, a Gragas of sorts, in my opinion. But otherwise, their usual this thing will be to group and fight and completely try and dominate FA over objectives by just showing off their strength post 6. But on the other side, on the side of FA, we do see that they are very power spike driven, while all INF have to do is pretty much wait for 6, get like a couple of items, and they'll pretty much be sorted as long as they stick together and not get caught. So it's a huge challenge for both sides to try and execute their picks and their comps the way they do. But this will make for a pretty explosive match, especially by mid game. If FA pretty much play it right and reach their power spikes, like it'll be crazy going in, just watching what they do from there on.
Indeed, it will. And let's go over through the 1v1 matchups and see how they pair off. So, first, let's start with the bot lane. How do you think this matchup is going to go? I mean, we talked about Nautilus being a very highly contested pick into this draft, and we completely forgot about Morgana's existence. So, how do you think the Lucian Nautilus lane will fare up against the Morgana and Kalista lane?
You mean Corki Nautilus? There is a Lucian in this game, but yeah, anyway. So Corki Nautilus, as in and of themselves as a comp, it's fairly okay. Like, of course, you have the Nautilus pretty much infinitely CCing and helping people and pretty much peeling for the Corki the whole way through with pretty much every skill, both even including his shield, his passive, and every single ability of his CCs the enemy, right? So Synth can pretty much coordinate well enough in order to keep anybody running onto Holy Gunners at bay, and as far as the laning phase is concerned at least. And so Holy Gunners should feel pretty safe from ganks, especially. Like Nautilus is pretty much a handy support to have in order to dodge ganks or try and escape ganks, because his very kit is just very effective against stuff like that. And on the side of INF Morpheus, Kalista Morgana is a fairly, while it may not be all that common as something like Kalista Alistair or Kalista Thresh or something like that. It's still really good in the sense that Kalista now has a Morgana shield to not worry about Nautilus's CC coming up in response. I didn't really pay attention to the pick order this time, because while I was just pretty much going through picks and talking about the bans, I got kind of lost in the explanation. So I'm not sure which bot lane got cemented first. I only remember the Nautilus being picked first, as well as the Morgana. So anyway, as far as lane matchups are concerned, Kalista, Morgana, yes, of course, a Black Shield can tank most of Nautilus's CC, but then again, it is very possible for Morgana to be able to place a kind of, for the Nautilus to place some kind of damage and try and kill the shield in order to, especially after level 6, we may try and see him either wait for the Morgana shield to go away or try and land as much magic damage to see if he's able to take the shield out and then end up CCing the Kalista otherwise. But in the meantime, the shield will prove to be a bit of a pain. But you can coordinate through the fact that you just wait until Morgana shields either herself or the Kalista and focus the other, right? So with enough discipline and practice, which I'm very sure both teams have, I'm sure Holy Gunners and Sith can work their way around Morgana shield in this particular case. But as Kalista and Morgana versus Corki and Nautilus, I expect the Corki and Nautilus to pretty much cross the lane after a point, especially after Corki gets his Trinity Force, where he'll have incredible like single target DPS when he manages to get his poke across and puts his full Q on like the Kalista. But
Yeah,
it will be
Callisto.
chaos after a point. So the early game will be very crucial for the Kalista Morgana.
Yeah, and also Morgana has also taken Exhaust into this lane. So do you think that she should have taken Ignite to make it more of a kill lane, or how do you think that'll influence the matchup?
No, the fact that Morgana's taken exhaust is just out of respect for the Zed and Poppy, because it pays to have a second exhaust in the team, because the only other is pretty much coming from Orianna, and top laners never take exhaust, and junglers there's absolutely no point taking exhaust unless you're solo queue Shyvana. But that's I'm not gonna go too far into that. I've actually had that happen to me once, and it was very, 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 very stupid. You'll just counter jungle exhaust you and kill you. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off a tangent here. But yes,
Indeed,
it's
and we
definitely
have,
useful against the Zed and Poppy to pretty much have an exhaust on. I have a second exhaust in the team, so that's good. And it's not totally bad. It's not that she needed Ignite, because she could also pretty much resort to the fact that Nautilus is too tanky, and their jungler is an Udyr who will anyway become tanky after getting his runic echoes in the form of like Iceborne Gauntlet and this thing, items like ZZ Rot Portal, Banner of Command, and all those kind of items. So especially in coordinated scenarios like these, where they can tell each other that okay, Morgana does not have this and this and this, she does not have Ignite. Say if she had taken Ignite, when they start working around that, Ignite slowly stops being as effective. But in fact, in the same way, I'm also surprised that Synth wanted to take Ignite over Exhaust, because it is not that much of a kill lane for the Corki and Nautilus, especially early on, against something like Kalista Morgana, because right from the start, even in level 1, we'll see some pretty good harass being dropped by the Kalista Morgana if they play it right. So that's pretty strange, but it may also be an indication that Syntastic might try and camp bot lane to a certain extent. I'm not sure. This may be one such thing. Maybe this is just going too far and overthinking, but anyway, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't really think Sin is going to camp bot lane, because if you do spectate a lot of Frost Academy's matches and a lot of their scrim results, he mostly likes to focus over on the top and mid lane, as opposed to his bot lane. I mean, of course he does visit bot a couple of times, but he doesn't really camp bot lane as much as he does to his top lane and mid lane. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out here. Coming over to the mid lane, I mean, you've got your favorite champion on one side, you got my favorite champion on one side. Why don't you talk about
Hey man,
the
these guys
advantages?
really did the research, did they?
It's like we're facing each other over in the mid lane.
Holy crap, man. Well,
Yeah, so why don't you talk about the Orianna versus Zed matchup?
So, Zed pretty much constantly becomes a pain to Orianna for the longest time, because it's Zed and not any other melee mid laner in this entire game. So Zed is the one particular melee mid laner that can trade back against Orianna if he starts landing his spears. And Arunasura, I've known his Zed since the very beginning, from when I'd known him at all in the first place. So he's really, really good on that pick. So Sam needs to either get like apt jungle pressure from Ripcord early on. The thing is, how the ideal matchup in the Orianna's mind going into mid lane should pretty much be either getting a kill or two from Ripcord through early ganks, and pretty much holding on to a specific lead until you get either a Seeker Zamgard or get to rush the Zonya Zar class, and managing and trying not to push the wave against your star as much as you can until you absolutely have to, in cases like when you have to back and stuff. But on the side of Zed, he just has to apply repeated amounts of pressure and just get that level 6 all in order to try and repeatedly get to kill the Orianna. So in fact, now, of course, going by, as you said, going by FA's history, if Sin really does end up focusing top and mid lane, this game we might see him trying to focus a little more in the mid lane if Arunasura is seen struggling early on against Sam. And it's totally possible because INF Sam as a mid laner, if he hasn't been at the peak of his form before, he certainly is right now. Like he's been playing out of his mind all throughout this tournament. So I expect him to pretty much give some serious trouble to Anusara before he managed to hit his power spike through either his first item or through pretty much naturally hitting 6, as is the case of Zed.
Yeah, and also it's just gonna be more of INF Sam just trying to survive up in this matchup because I don't think there is any champion that can actually beat a Z 1v1 if played properly and at the highest level, I'm assuming. So it's more of just INF Sam just farming, taking the jungle camp if he can, just surviving the lane and then showing his impact over in the dragon and baron fights whenever possible. So. But at the same time, it is up to Arun Sura. I mean, he has the ignite on Zed. He has the advantage over in the early game, the mid game, whatever. It's his job.
It's tough to say. We'll see. It comes down to the intentions of each player because obviously because this is team ranked and it's not pretty much solo queue where they can just go at each other's throats all the time. It'll basically come down to how well Fantastic just goes up and says, okay, you can all eliminate him now, and Sam is like. Yeah, and Ripcord, or if Ripcord says, okay, you can mess with his head a little bit. If he tries to respond or you pretty much fall low, I'll be around. So you need a lot of communication with your jungler on both sides of the matchup. If you're Zed, you'll need to constantly ask your jungler whether he'll actually get 1v2'd if he all-ins the Orianna right now. And as the Orianna, you're like, okay, he's gonna all-in me soon. Can you help me? So it takes a lot of communication in this particular matchup. Unless, of course, you're pretty much so confident that you just don't say anything and just be like, okay, I'll survive. You want me to survive it? I'll just survive, which is what I do, actually. I'll just tell my junglers that, yeah, chill, I won't die to the Zed. It's all fine. And, yeah, I just do it.
And we got the game resumed. So that's your in-depth analysis of bot lane and mid lane. So it's going to be, I mean, the game is just now unpaused. Both teams have bought their items. Zed has forgot his items, unfortunately. He's gonna go back. And that just pretty much screwed up FA's level 1 strat. But
I don't think they pretty much had any because it's very, very bad taking their best chance of a CC is not listing hook first, and nobody advises not listing hook first. People do it, but it's actually puts you back puts you way further back than you'd like to think and even want to. So they'll pretty much just meet each other and back off. I don't think they'll go off and commit to a full fight because FA in this case are probably a little stronger, especially if they manage to get the Corki across with his general level 1 mixed damage. And INF don't really have any power early on outside of the Calista Morgana and Nidalee Spears. That's the only hard-hitting ability they have in terms of a level 1 fight. So they'll just pretty much meet each other.
If you just look at the team comps alone, I mean, you're just, on FA side, it's like they have to get the kills, they have to get some sort of advantage in lane to kind of progressively take it out to the team fighting phase. I mean, INF is just completely opposite. I mean, they don't mind giving up a few advantages, a couple of CS, maybe a turret or so in that way. So when they get to the team fighting phase, they can all their ultimates and CC can just stack up on each other and they can have more of a combo type.
It's all about how much they'll end up losing before they hit their power spike. Like, if INF plays account to perfection, how much will they lose before they get to hit their power spike and are really ready and willing to just go in at their faces and fight? So that's what it pretty much gets down to. So regular winning faces commences, no real funny business on either side.
Yeah, dude, and I don't think really none of these teams want to do any like level 1 strat or something like that. I mean, this is their first time in the finals, I'm assuming. And they just want to try to. The first game is all about just playing and feeling out your enemy, seeing what they're up to, and seeing what you're up to, and what you're capable of.
Heavy trading on bot lane. This is what I mentioned. This is what I mentioned pretty much. Like Kalista Morgana can potentially have a slight edge. This time they took a lot of minion aggro, which is why they're far lower than the Corki. Really coordinate the harass properly at that one particular time, but you saw how low the Nautilus got, right? With
the Fade Birdie taken to almost below FHP, and that is just something FA has to watch out. I mean, they can't really give an advantage this early on into the game because it'll just get
happen too many times though.
Out of laning phase.
I've seen it happen too many times though. Birdie just randomly falls low, and within like 2 minutes, you'll see him get like half his health back through Grasp of the Undying or his potions. and he'll pretty much get back and solo the enemy top laner. And hook
Hook
lands.
over to the bot lane. Sky quickly spell shields it and disengages. Nothing big happening over in the bot lane.
Yep, and Sam has actually pushed into the tower, which is pretty much a standard opening that you want to do.
Oh, we got the
Against,
first game of the
something
game over in
pushback
top lane. FA Sin going up, gets the stun on the cluster. He's gonna have to flash this one. I don't see how he's gonna try to get out. FA Birdie misses,
Heroic shot misses,
the
he
knockback
doesn't get the
over on
stun.
the wall.
The heroic shot missed. He couldn't get the stun off, so he couldn't really finish off cluster there. In fact, it's 1.6 seconds at level 1, so that's actually long enough for you to pretty much kill the Malphite before he can even flash out. So it would have been big if he landed this stun there. And wow, Zed going full on to the
Over in
Orianna.
the mid lane, Orianna forcing the flash out. I mean, that was the kind of stuff we were talking about earlier in the draft. I mean, Arunasura has the power spike and has the power advantage over in the mid lane. He's trying to look for those solo kills along with FA Sin, who's there to protect him from the enemy jungler, and Sam just needs to stop overextending his lane and just needs to, you know, play it passively for the first few levels or so.
It's basically about respecting Zed's range. Like, there are obviously times when, especially when you have like lesser minions on your side, where the Zed can just pretty much put his full combo onto you and you'll fall dangerously low. So now he has his flash burnt. Syntastic has actually gone to the enemy jungle, and we may see him pretty much repeatedly try and pressure the arena, because look at where he is on the map right now. He is really, really unsafe. He doesn't even have wards. Those are blue wards, not red wards, on the south side of his mid lane right now.
Indeed, and same goes for Ripcord. I mean, he's also almost exactly on the same opposite side. And oh, we got to fight in the mid lane. Arunasura going very hard onto Sam, knowing that he does not have the flash, but due to the minion wave, he will back off over there.
Gets the passive auto off as well. That's really, really good for a Zed, really, because if you manage to get that passive auto early on, and another hook
lane, we
lands.
do have a small fight. INF Sky taking very low. FA Holy Gunners doesn't want to go for it. Here comes FA Sin, but no, I don't think they're going to be doing anything over here.
They committed a little too early there. They did not really coordinate with the Udyr back then. Like, if Synth had hooked as the Udyr was trying to come in, that would have been a lot better.
Oh, and another hook, FA Synth onto Morpheus this time. He's taken very low. Binding will hit onto Holy Gunners, and there's no follow-up DPS from him, unfortunately.
I never make me regret my words right now. I really thought Kalista Morgana could play the early game a little better, but now Corki and Nautilus are effectively gonna hit their prospect rather easily with like a couple of advantages. If the Kalista or Morgana dies, it's likely they're completely done for, because Corki hit his prospect without Ripcord's pressure at least.
Indeed. And, you know, so far we've seen a lot of jungle pressure being put on the Sin, and we haven't really seen much from Ripcord yet. I mean, he's done quite a bit of counter jungling. He's at the same exact farm as Udyr. I know we have a nice fight in the bot lane. Holy Gunners gets exhaust dropped onto him. He'll being used there.
Pretty late, pointless exhaust. Pretty pointless exhaust because of the size of the minion wave there. They didn't really have too much to go, and this is the stun that Birdie should have sought when Sin came and ganked for him, which would have pretty much gotten him the kill, but too late for that.
Indeed it is, and yeah, so not much happening at this stage. I mean, we have a couple of summoners being used here and there, but nothing too explosive, I'd say.
Most action-packed 0-0 ever.
Pretty much. Pretty much, but you know, both the teams are in their first finals, so they are just gonna try and play it passive and just see how it progresses out. Both mid laners level 6 right now.
But I'd say because it's game 1, you can just get a little fancy and just see how well the enemy is responding to any of the key moves you put. And if they do it well enough, you can pretty much start being a little passive from the next game on.
Yeah, pretty much. First game is all about just feeling your enemy and just feeling yourself on, you know, how good you are playing today, how efficient you are.
Yeah, best of fives, it's the philosophy going into best of fives is like far different. And you may see a commit coming from the Zed.
Yeah, Zed going hard onto Sam. I don't know, doesn't want to pop his ulti. Now he pops his ulti. Shockwave not used. He flashes away. Here comes Ripcord. Arunasura very low. Oh, here comes FA Sin flashing from the side. Gets the stun onto Ripcord, but he's gonna back off slowly. Both mid laners very low. And that was a flash for a flash, or 2 flashes burned?
No, not flash for a flash. Exhaust burnt for summoners on Zed. And that's Sam pretty much kind of royally messed up. I mean, it still wouldn't have killed the Z, but he pressed W first before queuing. Like, he didn't really send the ball across, and he already pressed his dissonance, and he already hit his W, which is his dissonance, which would have gotten Z ridiculously low, but would not have, still not have killed him. So, while that didn't matter at that moment, he really should watch out and try not to do that for too many
Oh,
times.
Ripcord getting caught in the jungle here. I think he's gonna die or has to burn flash. Something's gonna have to happen, but no, he just pounces over to the tri-brush. Oh my god, INF missed the knockup. FA Synth
Beautiful
does not have
turnaround.
flash here. First blood does go to Ripcord. Ripcord gets targeted by FA Synth, who flashed over from the bot lane. It's right
Can they
now
get
at
away?
2v2 right now.
Yes, they
Holy
will.
Gunner's going hard in, doesn't mind his positioning. Here comes the TP from Cluster. FA Synth all rooted up. Can they get one kill here? No, they don't.
Oh.
Arunasura, very low. Cluster failing his ultimate. Oh my god, flashing in, and that
Beautiful
is an
stuff.
ace. No,
Beautiful stuff.
almost an ace.
INF should take the dragon right about now. I'm not sure why they're not really going towards it. Cluster can tank it for days with his Palmy Cinder right now.
Okay, so
They don't even have to fear the
Zidane, would you
jungler
like to
right
go
now. But
over
oh
the set
well,
of events that just happened over there?
I guess they're not that confident enough to just, fully believe in Cluster tanking the tower perfectly, tanking the dragon perfectly. But oh well, yeah, they have the shields. I figured they have the Orianna shields and everything. But yeah, it's understandable why they wouldn't want to take the dragon after that, because that's one of those dream early on engages that you're fully turned around. But yeah, anyway, it's still good for it's still good for INF regardless, because they are almost 2k gold ahead with that fight. 1K,
Indeed they
sorry.
are, and
Yeah.
so one thing I'd like to point out here is Arunasura having the need to go Hex Drinker on Zed on every single AP matchup, which I kind of do not agree with that, to be honest. I mean, as Zed, especially when you're against an Orianna who has like really scaling damage and is very ball oriented, I don't think going Hex Drinker against an Orianna is actually quite worth it. I mean, I'd actually try to just rush my Ghost Blade and then go for the Dusk Blade.
I believe it's less of that and more of the fact that there's also a Nidalee on the other side that can potentially camp you, and any NBA fights in the laning phase that can be turned around are mostly surrounding the Orianna and the Nidalee on the side of INF. So I believe while it probably doesn't make sense to go Hexdrinker first without getting your CDR through either the Serrated Dirk or your Boots of Lucidity, it's still not too bad of an option of an buy this early on. But anyways,
but
it has pretty much saved him in that one gank. However, we did see it work its magic after Sam landed that shockwave, a very very good shockwave, I might put, because you need to mind
and
games.
bot lane Sky
full
flashing in, going very aggressive onto the enemy bot laner. Morpheus pulls him back, binding and ulti, both of them don't hit. Synth has a lot of stacks on him. Ooh, the Ren takes him to about half HP, but still being able to tank that up as a support Nautilus is quite astonishing.
Sky was very indecisive that time, because you saw him wanting to get the channel of his ult onto Holy Gunners, but later on he pretty much decided at the nth hour to go after Synth, and by the time the Tether had already broken, so he was very very indecisive in that gank there.
And top lane's getting ganked. Cluster being forced to push over to his turret. Doesn't burn any summoners there, but just gets to about below half HP and is gonna
Well,
back
he
up.
has none to burn, so he has no
Meanwhile,
summoners to burn.
Italy and Orianna teaming up together to take this turret against the Zed. Arunasura not being able to actually... Oh, he can actually go for a kill there, but decides not to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he might not have realized, or maybe must not have communicated to him that Zed has his ult down in order to commit there. But do well.
Yeah, I didn't have ulti.
Yeah, that was a very very good kill opportunity. If they had communicated and actually told each other that Zed does not have ult, can you go in? No
And that
flash
was
even
actually
as
a
well.
really good play. Zed not having ult and just taking to his turret gives a lot of breathing room for this Orianna to
Yep.
farm up and actually reach that late game power spike.
I really, really don't agree with what Sam's building, though. There's really no point building a Rod of Ages against non-AP kind of casters, against AD-based casters, where you're much better off, especially in the case of Zed, where you're much better off with just getting a Zhonya's and early armor, which will help you completely negate his ult, or pretty much
Sonya's
prevent you
first
from
item or
being used
Morella
as
was
an
you're
ult.
talking about?
No, Roa as a first item is still pretty bad against the Zed, in my opinion at least. Well, because if you're against AD, that can pretty much just flatly kind of deal, especially after he gets custody of Draktar, you'll see the fact that only health is really not going to work after a point. And Zed is also the kind of champ that builds Blade of the Ruin King at any stage of time, at any point of time. So if we see him build that against his Orianna right now, we'll see Zed dominating Orianna in fights, at least until she gets her Zhonya's.
Indeed, and Cluster taking a lot of damage over in this top lane. Will Birdie go for the kill though is the question. Cluster does have the Unstoppable Force ready in case if Birdie wants to go too ham, but no, they're just gonna exchange a little bit of damage and back off. Over in the bot lane, we might see a potential gank. Ward, Sky being smart and rewarding the left side of the brush here. I don't think they're aware of FA Sin. They're trying to go a little bit aggressive. FA Sin, ooh, what are they?
They are respecting the Nautilus's hook range though.
They are respecting hook, does not hit unfortunately. Oh, and Sky, oh my god, FA Sin flashing for it. Both ultis being used on Sky. Morpheus just pulls him away, and that's just a waste of all the flashes and ultis coming up from FA here. They should be more smart about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Kalista Morgana. The Kalista can pretty much just ult the Morgana away. What FA's what they need to do there was pretty much force INF, give INF an opening to fight them. So either like something like Synth getting binded, for example. If Synth should have purposely gotten binded, and should have forced Kalista to use her ult and make for a full engage, and then Synth comes popping right out, uses his flash, and tries to get a kill on them. At worst, it'll be a 1 for 2, but at best, you pretty much have a surviving Nautilus and an engage and possibly a tower over there.
Indeed, you did. But that was just a bunch of waste of summoners and ultis coming up from FA. I mean, they play. I mean, FA Synth himself plays a lot of Morgana. He should know that. And oh, in the mid lane, we have Arunasura going a full-on exhaust being put down. Shockwave will hit him. Both AP carries. I mean, carries in the mid lane are very low. Sam coming out with the solo kill onto Zed. What do you have to say for that, Zedias?
Well, he leveled up, so that slight health increase that he got could have probably caused thing. But that was mostly Arunasura's complete mistake over there. Like he couldn't churn out enough damage out of his death mark over there, and he didn't stay on the Orianna. I don't think he got his passive auto off in that fight even. Maybe if I rewatch it, I'll be able to find out. But
yeah,
I didn't hear the passive auto going off on the Orianna in order to pretty much threaten her into going down. So even though he had both of his HPs, the fact that he also got exhausted didn't really help either. That was mostly just the exhaust summoner spell doing work, and the fact that he did not stay on the Orianna to try and kill her completely. And Sam made a huge mistake over there. He pretty much already put his QW across, and Arunasura just didn't make proper use of that timing and actually got QW'd a second time because of how late he took in killing the Orianna. And
indeed, and over in the Dragon area, Cluster does TP down FA Synth, sorry, dead right there, and Dragon will be going to INF here unless FA Sin can magically get a Smite Steal or Arunasura to steal it, and oh, he does steal it with the Shadow Shuriken coming out from Zed. INF, what were you doing? Where was the Smite there? Or the Rend, Smite or Rend, sorry.
Nidalee is I believe Nidalee is also one of the easier champions to pretty much smite secure with as well because of how much damage her combo in general does. You can just I believe you can just trap and just put all of your Q, E and W and smite at the same time in order to secure everything, and that'll pretty much end up doing over 300 above your smite at any point of time.
Including the Rend too. I mean, INF shouldn't have an excuse of stealing an objective, of getting an objective stolen like that.
Well, anyway, Herald goes off to Sam, and now he's switched to the top lane. And this is probably smart by INF, right? Sending the one thing that can deal with against 80 damage dealers the best in the form of the Malphite is probably good, but not good if he stays over here right now.
Will Cluster get dropped here? I don't think so. He's taking a lot of damage. Arunasura using the death mark here. Doesn't pull the Shuriken off. Good ulti coming up from Cluster. Gets the greedy Syntastic over there. And we have more action. Engage coming over in the bot lane. Sky just doing so much damage. Heal being used. A couple of more auto attacks will secure the kill. On the Holy Gunners, no! He turns it around, and FA is able to flash in time just like that. And more action over at the top lane. They're trying to kill Birdie under turret. Birdie ulting Ripcord away.
Oh, he's
INF
taking too much
Sam
tower
Kids
shots.
tanking
Okay.
the turret for days, and they will secure the kill. Oh my god, what is happening all over the map?
So yeah, well that was almost a mistake by Ripcord. Like I'm not sure how he still managed to fix it. The fact that he just pounced right onto Poppy without waiting for her W to go away. But anyway, it's good thing. That was one place where the rover probably helped, though it's not something
Oh
you
my
usually
god, another fight
foresee.
going in
And
the
wow.
bot lane. FA Holy Gunners kindly got his package. One more shot will confirm the kill. Holy Gunners, what are you doing? Oh, he misses the ulti and he backs away. Oh my god. You had the kill,
Wow.
Holy Gunners. You had it.
Oh well, there's no way you could have foreseen that, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
he had
that's just one of those
Valkyrie up,
random
right?
things that happen, you know. When it just happens, it just happens. You just pretty much
He had
walk away in
Valkyrie up,
shame.
right? I mean, once you use the package, you get the Valkyrie spell right off CD.
I don't think it refreshes. He must have used his Valkyrie to try and get into range because he did see Callister recalling.
No, he
Wait,
used the
no, I'm
package. He used
stupid.
the
I'm stupid.
package
If you have
to
the
get
package,
to,
that package is the only thing it takes up. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
why he didn't do that then. Maybe all he took that to try and get closer to Callister back then. Something like that. Anyway, like, in the end, it would have probably still come down to the fact that he missed his missile barrage there. So he would not have been able to get the kill regardless. But anyway, back to what happened at top lane. That was probably the one time where the rover probably helped for Sam because he had the health to tank the tower for that long. And right now, okay, yeah, even though I do say Rodaway was a bad buy, the fact that he got 2 kills and has like somewhat of a CS lead over Arunasara right now is he's made it into a decent buy because of what happened.
Indeed, and bot lane going on the aggression right here. Bind going on to FA Synth. He will knock up Morpheus, but he's going to go down. Ren doing a lot of damage. Now, Holy Gunners looks like the new target here, but they're not going to go for him, respecting the amount of damage Corki has at this stage.
Of course, all of a sudden getting so much done right now on the map.
Yeah, I mean, we were criticizing him about his, well, I was criticizing him about his early game not doing as much as Sin was, but he actually caught on guard and has impacted
Now
the
he's
game
applying
a
greater
lot.
pressure than Sin has ever hoped to put right up till now.
Indeed.
So, well, we're also seeing Nidalee pretty much come up with a row of her own. And that's pretty much usual for Nidalee. I mean, I'm not sure that really comes down to the fact that they have an all-AD team comp or something. But yeah. If Cluster keeps going at this rate, I mean, sure he's 30 CS behind, but oh my god, he's probably dead now.
Yeah, but another gank going on to Cluster. I don't think he can escape from this one. Uses Unstoppable Force, flashes away. Will FA go?
No, the
for
tower's
this?
low,
No, they
he can
respect
go.
the turret.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't think FA Sin realized that the turret was just
Yeah.
wanting to be away. He
There
flash
we go.
smites, gets the stun. Will he have enough damage? Runic Echoes will pick up the kill. Uncoordinated, but still got it executed.
Yeah,
coming from
no, I
FA.
mean it's just you don't realize that. That was probably Birdie's like call to make, where he said, "Oh no, towers low, just go." But anyway, it's just a matter of realizing and looking like right there. It's a rookie mistake.
And I just feel that FA is just feels a lot of pressure playing in this finals. I mean, ever since the start of the game, we had Arunasura forget to buy his items. We had we just have a lot of instances where they don't feel confident in themselves at this stage. I mean, just recently we saw Holy Gunners trying to get a solo kill onto Morpheus. He had the second Valkyrie available, but he just didn't go for it. And then, you saw the play over in top lane.
Okay.
I guess the pressure has kind of got to them, which is completely normal and fine. I mean, it happens to
Yeah,
everybody.
I mean, what's happened more than just the fact that it's pressure, more than just calling it pressure, I'd say that things have just slightly gone wrong, right? Because it was going up to that point until, well, okay, no, sorry, no, that's, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that, wow. I was about to say, Arunasura stealing dragon would probably bring them down. Oh my god. Anyway. Yeah. It's less about feeling pressure and more of the fact that all of a sudden INF Ripcord, wherever he showed up, right, he's managed to make it completely count. Like, he came bot lane, he managed to get the kill he managed to get the tower down. He came top lane, he managed to get the tower down. He came mid lane and he actually took the tower down with Sam. So Ripcord is pretty much in terms of macro and in what he's done around the map, he has pretty much done a much better job of it than Sin, because all Sin has done is it's probably okay that Sin hasn't been able to do much beyond that one time when he counter jungled and tried to get a gank at mid lane, and the other time he tried to get a gank when he had to go for top lane. Just now he did get a kill and all that. It's probably okay because he's Udyr, and that's just the way the pick is, in the fact that if you get a few items, you'll pretty much end up being strong if later, if not right now. But Nidalee is the kind of champ where you need to be as active as you can. So while Ripcord did do a good job, FA can pretty much just look to make it so that the Nidalee can't really get any further use for a while now. And plus, wow, you're really not in a good spot, buddy. Anyway.
Yeah, that was just not a good shot. But right now, INF getting the Baron. I mean, they have the Ren, they have the Smite from Ripcord. They're gonna secure this no matter what. And FA Synth getting engaged on or engaged, but he's gonna get poked on really low. Unstoppable Force will only pick up one thing, but he's tanking 3 people. Meanwhile, the Shockwave only picks up 2 people. INF Morpheus does get the kill. Arunasura does ulti, but it doesn't quite go off. No, it doesn't. Oh, here comes the damage from Holy Gunner. Two Valkyries into his own death. Another binding going out. FA Arunasura splashing away, and Synth and Zed are the only 2 people alive on Frost Academy's side. And what a fight coming out from INF.
I'm surprised Synth managed to stay alive out of all that, because he fell low first. And somehow he managed to get away while his whole team died behind him. So that was just in choke points against a wombo combo based comp like that. You really don't want to fight them. Like okay, Sam didn't even use his ult there in that fight. I'm not sure how. I mean, I didn't see if it was up or not before the fight. But the fact that Sam didn't need to use his ult and Cluster could just go in. Yeah, and Cluster could just go in and like ult the backline the way he did. Like he just went straight through the team and tried to snipe Synth. You know, when that ends up happening, you know that the fight is already going bad when you have a Malphite right at your backline hammering away. So they bided long enough. They bided for time long enough for Kalcha to start stacking spears on everyone, and that one huge Ren that got them all to less than 100 HP settled it for them.
Indeed, and it's not like their OTs have been like extraordinary. It's just that they've done pretty well in the laning phase, where if they get like a 1 or 2 man knock up, I mean, if they hit their ultis on 1 or 2 people, it's just more than enough. Like the Malphite ultimate just got Corki over in the other fight and didn't get anybody else. But anyways, they come out on head over on the team fights. They came out ahead over in the laning phase, and they're in the driver's seat. They're definitely in the driver's seat right now because of how things went so far. But we'll see. They'll effectively still need like a Baron, at least a Baron or something like the 3rd or 4th dragon, in order to the 2nd dragon actually. I believe the 4th and 2nd dragon got switched recently in the recent patch. So it'll definitely take another dragon before INF can look to siege and get towers anywhere across the map. So until then, they have to rely on catches. And FA can make use of this window and the fact that they can still try and look to get effective vision and start setting up catches with Synth, which is their way to come back into this thing. While of course applying a lot of split push pressure with Zed, sending him across the map. So we'll see if they do that. I don't think he is going to be able to split push against Cluster over here. He can try, but it's going to be quite difficult getting a kill at least, which is not possible at this point.
And did you see him getting caught? Sin is going as a low.
Sneaking a Baron here?
Yep, just looked exactly like that. Cluster stiffly managed. Oh wow, this is classic League of Legends. This is classic League of Legends. There's too many people flock to try and kill one person.
Hits Sky, doesn't necessarily hit Cluster, but Baron will be secured, and FA Synth looks like he's going to be caught out. Meanwhile, Birdie going straight in onto Ripcord, doesn't get anything. Oh, and now we have the fight here. Birdie going to go down, has thousands of stacks on him. FA Synth just running onto Sam, trying to solo him. Exhaust will go down. The rest of INF trying to peel for him, but here's Morpheus free hitting over on the side, gets the double kill. Holy Gunners backing away. Will the bind hit? No, it doesn't. Spell Shield being used onto Morpheus. Will he try and chase for that? No, he's just going to push up the minion wave and hopefully get the inhib and possibly end the game, or maybe at least get a Nexus turret. I don't know.
I've seen INF do this so many times right now. This is just INF being INF right now. The fact that they pulled this off just now, the fact that they went for Baron as fast as they did the moment they got even the slightest semblance that their whole team had been going for the Malphite is really, really quick. And actually enabled them to get Baron. If Morpheus does
good
this,
mechanics
okay.
coming up from Morpheus. Almost dodges everything over there.
Dodges everything, sure, but he was just greedy for the inhibitor there. Well, okay, risk paid off. He had
Well,
flash.
you have to get
so he
something
got
after a fight like that.
Now it's all going really, really bad. Like, sure, yes, FA needed to get something done early on in the game, but wow, like, just FA just started making the wrong decisions and the wrong fights to pick. Like, they didn't fight as smart as they needed to with this comp against INF right now, especially in the fight against Choke Point out near the Dragon. We had the red buff and all that whole 5v5 that they had. And all the short decisions that they led before. Sure, yes, they got Dragon early on, and that could have been a little bit of a boost, but they still couldn't actively search for the right fight. And that's just pretty much their, in a way, and Morpheus can chase this.
No, he's not gonna chase it. Nah. You can't chase against the Nudier, let's be real.
True, but maybe with a character with Bork, which he is, probably, but oh well.
Yeah, even if you have a Bork, unless you're a Master Yi with ultimate smite TP, I don't think there's a way you're gonna chase against it.
Yes. Probably catch him.
Yeah,
Even then,
much.
probably. Because Udyr is just so
Yeah,
fast.
you still have a probability over there. But
Correct,
anyways,
yeah.
INF trying to look out for this bottom outer turret, which is the only remaining, top outer turret, what am I talking, which is the only outer turret remaining. Spear hits on the Arunasura, giving him a nice loot and sprock, but actually, FA is going hard for
wow.
this. Shield will take the knock-up. We have another fight here. Shockwave will only get 2 people. Arunasura going for the back line, but gets CC locked down. Now the tanks are the only ones up. They're going to go down. FA Sin's going to go down. That's a double kill coming out from Ripcord. That's a triple kill.
They have
no,
Baron.
that actually goes to Morpheus, and he's going to pick up a double kill.
Why? They have Baron. It's just... FA that's FA cracking.
Blue team agreed to surrender 5 votes. I think they've actually given up, and at 29 minutes, that is your first game of the day, 2-20. INF taking the lead, taking the first game, telling them that they're here to play, and I guess we're gonna be back for the second game.
That was some fairly action-packed League of Legends. That was a lot of mistakes from FA in the early game, but INF did really, really well to execute the comp the way they did, and those Barons, like, they were just very, very smart in their rotations and macro this game. And if they keep this up, they can seriously take it. But yeah, hopefully FA recover. They realize their mistakes from the first game, and that's pretty much how BO5s work. You see what went wrong in the first game, try to fix it as much as you can for forthcoming games, and not succumb to pressure over time.
Indeed, and that's the end of game 1. We'll see you guys later for game 2. Don't go anywhere. Restock on your chips and stuff. We'll be back.